my talk today is conservative management of acute Achilles ruptures. So my aim today is to review some of the recent and relevant literature, discuss some of the controversies around treatment, and hopefully to provide a perspective for how to translate what's in the literature into our clinical practice. So as we know, Achilles ruptures are common. They typically occur in the active middle-aged person, and the incidence is increasing. Now, this is a common scenario that I'm sure all of us will come up with. You might get a 55-year-old gentleman who's a weekend warrior, who's playing basketball or tennis, and he ruptures his Achilles. He presents to the local hospital, and he's been seen by the orthopedic registrar who says, "You don't need surgery. We'll put you in the cast and you can see our physio in 2 weeks' time." Now, this patient's not happy with the advice and he comes to you for a second opinion. And his questions are, well, what is the best treatment for my Achilles? Bear in mind that I want to remain active. My friend had his Achilles repaired and he's doing well. Am I getting inferior treatment with no surgery? Well, what are the aims of treatment? And as Paolo spoke before, the aim is to obtain and maintain tendon apposition. This allows the tendon to heal at its physiological length, and the aim is to avoid tendon elongation as much as possible and subsequent weakness. We also want to achieve a tendon which is robust with a lower risk of re-rupture, and ultimately to restore strength and function to the patient's Achilles. Now, in my training, and I finished my training a while ago, my training was that surgical repair should be done for most Achilles tendon ruptures. And the main reason is because of the high re-rupture rate with non-surgical treatment. Fair enough, there is a risk that comes from surgery with wound complications, but for most people, surgery should be performed because of the lower re-rupture rate and the expected better functional outcome. Now, historically, non-surgical treatment for Achilles ruptures was 6 to 8 weeks of non-weight bearing in the cast. And many authors have criticized that to say that that's really not good for tendon healing. And we know from basic science that tendons heal better with early load and movement. And this then brought in this concept of functional rehabilitation, which essentially means early weight bearing and early institution of range of motion to help the Achilles tendon heal. And in basic principles, functional rehabilitation for Achilles tendon ruptures involves putting the ankle in equinus for the first 2 to 3 weeks, depending on which protocol that you read. And the aim is to oppose the tendon as best as possible. After 2 or 3 weeks, the patient is then transitioned into a cam boot where protected weight bearing is gradually introduced with the patient in a heel lift. Passive and active range of motion is then instituted, but not past neutral. And the aim is to start to transition the patient out of the boot to a normal shoe with a heel lift at about 8 weeks. And there are a number of centers around the world who have done this for some time, and they have reported good results. The top article is out of Belfast, the middle article is out of New Zealand, and the lower article is out of Scandinavia. So there are some centers that have done this for a while and have been happy with their result. And the re-rupture rate for Achilles is better with early weight bearing and range of motion. So this slide shows that if you use cast and non-weight bearing, the re-rupture rate can be up to 12 to 13%. It's 5% if you use functional rehab, but it's still not as low as surgical repair. The momentum, however, for non-surgical treatment for Achilles ruptures really took on a lot more energy with this paper published in 2010. This is the Willits paper, randomized controlled trial, surgery versus functional rehab, and they found no difference in the re-rupture rate. They also found or concluded that all the outcomes, strength, function scores, were equivalent between the two groups, and they concluded that there was no benefit from surgical repair. This was the following year, Mark Laisbrook out of Canada published this analysis of randomized trials of surgery versus non-surgery, and again that they found that they had equal re-rupture rates and functional results. And again, they concluded there was no benefit from surgical repair with all the added disadvantages of wound problems. Now, I did my fellowship with Mark Laisbrook, and he presented this paper at the American Academy meeting in 2011. And the response was not good. There was a lot of unhappiness in a mainly American audience, and they just didn't believe that non-surgical treatment could produce such good results. And it was a very contentious meeting. There was a lot of shouting because these papers challenged the long-held belief that surgery has to be better. Now, we all should practice evidence-based medicine, right? But what does this mean? And for me, coming from a background of repairing these, this was a very troubling paper. Does this mean that we abandon surgery for Achilles ruptures, or do we treat everybody non-surgically? And if I do operate, am I practicing unnecessary surgery? And again, I enjoyed Paolo's talk from before because my conclusions are quite similar to his. The evidence for accelerated functional rehab cannot be denied. However, although the differences in re-rupture rates, functional scores, and muscle strength were not significant, if you look at the raw data, they consistently point to better results with surgery. So again, this is the Willits paper. The re-rupture rate was 2.7% versus 4.1%. They'd failed to exclude one patient in their non-surgical group that failed to heal, and some argue that that patient should have been included and that would have led to a higher re-rupture rate. This is the same slide that Paolo showed before within the same paper, and looking at patients who had surgery, which are the darker bars, they had stronger plantar flexion strength compared to their non-operative counterparts. Now, further on, there was a paper from Finland, randomized controlled trial, published in 2016, and they did find that patients with surgery did better and recovered quicker as far as muscle strength was concerned. This, however, did not translate to a better functional score, statistically anyway, although there was a trend to better scores in the surgical group. Again, they found that the surgical group had a lower re-rupture rate, but this was not statistically significant. This is another study out of Sweden, 2013, randomized controlled trial. Again, stronger Achilles when patients were tested for jumping and hopping. Again, Paolo made reference to this, but however, there was no functional difference between the two. Once again, lower re-rupture rate with surgery, but this was not statistically significant. So how do we translate all this to the patient in front of us in our consulting room who has an Achilles tendon rupture? Well, I tell patients that you have a rupture of a very important tendon in your leg, and the aim is to achieve an apposition of this tendon as best as possible so that it heals at the right length. And there are two broad treatment options. One is non-surgical, where we put your ankle into maximum plantar flexion in the hope that the tendon ends meet up. And the second is surgical repair. There is still much debate about which is better. Studies show that the functional results are equivalent, but surgical repair does produce a stronger tendon with a lower re-rupture rate. And the aim is to tailor the treatment to the individual. Once I say this, typically, younger patients will say, look, thanks very much. From what you've said, I prefer to repair my tendon because strength is important to me. An older patient might say, look, I'm not as active as I used to be anyway, and I really prefer not to have an operation. So help patients choose what they prefer to have. Once a patient decides that non-surgical treatment is the way to go, then I will give them this protocol, which I've adapted from the Willits paper. It is important to emphasize compliance with this. I typically will see patients at about 4 weeks just to see how they're going. Very often, when you examine the tendon, there is some evidence of the tendon reconstituting. There is plantar flexion strength often returns, and there is often good resistance to dorsiflexion. And for me, it's important for me to hear patients say that they are regaining strength, they feel happy with their progress. Now, at 4 weeks, if there is a sense that things are not heading in the right direction or if the patient's concerned, then it's still not too late to revert to surgery. So the least ideal candidate for surgery would be the one who has been walking on his Achilles for more than 3 to 5 days, because the gap, one would assume, would be bigger and bigger, and it's difficult to achieve a proper apposition. Patients with comorbidities such as peripheral vascular disease, diabetes, etc., the concept of conservative treatment is often more desirable. And ultimately, the patients who prefer surgical repairs will be very uncomfortable if you offer them non-surgical treatment. I'll skip this. So in my experience, 30% of my patients are treated conservatively because they want to. Most patients are satisfied, and the literature and my personal experience have made me more comfortable with non-surgical repair. I think it is important to provide patients with the option of both treatment if you think it's appropriate. Now, if you
I think we might have to finish it there, Terence.
No worries, Mark.
That
Thanks
right?
very much. So,
sorry. Do you want to finish? Do the summary.
Yeah,
That's
so
good.
in summary, functional rehab and surgery have equivalent results, but surgery, I think, provides a patient with a stronger tendon and a lower re-rupture rate. It's important for surgeons to discuss both treatment options. It's not a matter of which is best, but which is better for this patient. Thanks very much.
Thanks.